Hello, friends. My name's Michelle, and I call myself the Beauty Treasure Hunter. Today, I've got a lot of new things. I've got the YSL Cushion Foundation, a couple of things from Essence, the Balm of Sunshine, and the Silky Blur Powder. I've got the Revolution Contour and the new One Size spray that has kind of a tan glow to it. This one's in Cocoa Glow. So if you want to see my opinion on those things and how I got this look, then hang right with me. Okay, before we get all started today, I wanted to go over the multi-balms I've been using. Of course, we've got the Dalba. It has two different types of serums in there, so you can see it's got like a yellow core, and this feels fabulous. And you get 0.35 ounces. This one's more expensive. This Legouche multi-balm doesn't have more than one, but it feels just the same. Very reasonable. I think it's 0.32 ounces, so almost the same size. And then I also like the Essence Jelly Grip, except it is teeny weeny. It only has 0.16 ounces. So, half the size of the Legouche, but the same price. So you might think, oh, I'll just go with Essence. It's the cheapest, but not necessarily. So I really recommend this one. I have a couple by e.l.f. The white one is just called Iridescent. There's one by LA Girl called Let's Chill, and it is more of that jelly consistency, very slidey, cool to the touch, a little grippy maybe. Then there's one by Wet n Wild, the Hydra Depuffer for eye and face, cooling Hydra. And it's not jelly, it is cooling. It's not as glossy as the e.l.f., but it still feels really nice. Then I got one off of Ipsy. It's called the Dew Over Hydrating Serum Stick, and it looks kind of jellyish also. Very nice. Nice consistency. I also got one at the Dollar Tree, the cooling stick. It's called the Clean Color Cooling Stick. And it does have a little cap on the inside to keep it from drying out. Looks like a little mushroom head almost. And it does feel cooling and balmy. And it smells kind of like cucumber melon from Bath and Body Works. And then I did get a 2-pack that I have not been impressed with. And before I throw them in my trash bin, I thought I would show you. They're by Glam Fox. Got them at Marshall's in a 2-pack. Let's see, the pink one says multi-serum stick, and they're kind of triangular, and it just has a funky smell. And like some of it broke off. It's a little thicker consistency, if that makes sense. And the blue one, they were labeled in the package as slightly different, but I don't remember. They both say serum stick on the outside. You can see when I push it, it doesn't just glide, it kind of pushes. Wow, the top of my hand does feel great right now, though. So I don't recommend those two. But I think I'll do the Wet n Wild today because it felt really great. And it's a little different. But now if I forget this step, I can tell. I don't think my concealer blends as well. Oh, very nice. By the way, this is my first taping after my nasal surgery. I'm happy to report that the little stitch I still had left on the inside came out today. I'm telling you, if I had the choice, if I knew that it was going to work, would I go through it again? Oh man, I don't even know if I would, knowing that it's going to work. And I won't know that for until the 3-month mark when everything's finally healed. But I had 3 different procedures: septoplasty to straighten my septum. Then when your septum is curved like that, your nasal passage on one side is bigger, so your turbinates grow to fill that area. So I had turbinates reduced, And then I had a nerve ablated that is supposed to help calm down the production of my drippy nose. So we'll see, but I'm telling you, it was bad. I had silicone stents in for 5 days, and those stents were held in by a stitch to my septum, and it was quite miserable. And that was my 7th surgery. I've been through spinal fusion, had my gallbladder out, radical hysterectomy, 2 melanoma removals, a sentinel lymph node biopsy, but the nasal, was the worst so far. So I'm glad to be back and breathing very clearly, sleeping a little better too. For my sunscreen today, I'm going to mix a couple because a lot of people talk about making your own tinted moisturizer or maybe tinted uh, SPF, but both things I'm going to use have SPF and they're both 30. This one is by Pharmacy, Green Defense. It's an SPF, yeah, I already said that, of 30. It's a mineral one, and also have Mineral UV Tint by Neutrogena. And it's in the deep shade. And that's the thing, you can control the shade that you get by how much of this one that you add, but you're still going to get the 30. So I'm going to do that on the back of my hand. That's what the mineral one looks like. Well, they're both mineral, but the one that's not tinted. And here's the Neutrogena that's tinted. So when I mix these two together, I get what looks like, just a tinted sunscreen. And it's a pretty good match to my color, actually. The tip of my nose is still sore, so I have to still be careful. I babysat my 2-year-old granddaughter yesterday, and she's a wild woman, and I had to explain to her how we had to be careful around Mimi's nose. And she was. She's just full of energy. So that feels lovely. And I have a backlog of beauty treasures to share with you. Let's see, I've shared this before, but I love the brush that it has on it. It is the Kimchi Chic The Most Concealer. Mine is a pretty light color. Let's see. Warm Alabaster, I think 4.5. So it's one of these tips, brush tip, and you just squeeze and get out the product. But I love this for priming the eyelids. It's a little bit thicker formula, so it works well for this and hiding my veins. And I will say this too. I had just 19 units of Botox between my eyes the day before my surgery. And they say when you go under anesthesia that if you've had anything done like that, that it doesn't last as long. Somehow the anesthesia makes you metabolize it faster. However, I'm wondering, they said most people wake up from that surgery having a terrible headache, and I did not. And I wonder if that's why. We may never know. Okay, I found this cute little, it's called WakeMake Soft Blurring Eye Palette 2024 Bloody Game Blurring. Okay, I think that's supposed to be like some kind of Halloween doll. I don't know what WakeMake is, but I liked the look of this palette and it said blurring. I was like, maybe they blend very nicely. So I'm going to start with a couple of these shades over here that are matte, just mixing them together. And I got this at Marshall's, and I want to say it was like $5.99, just why I said, okay, I'm gonna try that. Oh, and that was just a fluffy brush. I'm gonna switch to a Buart's, a white eye buffer number 17, same kind of shape. And I think I'll go a little bit darker. It's kind of a rosy brown, this one is. And the whole eye look today is kind of going to be copper, which if you have blue blue eyes, that really makes them pop. And of course, bronze on brown eyes would be great. And then if you have like hazel eyes, then, a wine or purple really makes them pop too. So it's fun to look at your color wheel, find your eye color, look at the opposite, and go for something in that family. Okay, and I'm gonna go for this one. Um, it is a pencil blender number 19, and I'm gonna go a little bit darker, still matte, and I will blend that out in just a minute, just getting it right in the corner right now. I'm gonna switch to this Fenty highlighter, and the shade is Penny for You Thoughts. So this is a really pretty coppery shade, and it's supposed to be a highlighter. The problem is it's got big chunky glitter, so I'm gonna use it as eyeshadow. I'm trying to think of this as, okay, I just purchased a very large pan of eyeshadow. I'm gonna go underneath with that. Okay, back to the palette and picking up the number 11. It's the Flame Blender. It's a little bit bigger, and I'm gonna go into this color right here. It's kind of like the color of my shirt, kind of taupe, but it has a little bit of a sheen, and just kind of go over the spot that doesn't have any shadow right now, right at the base, and then kind of blend that up and out. And I totally could go in with any of these super sparkles. One, or this one. Yeah, let me see if I can get this other one to show up. Yeah. However, LA Girl has come out with their Prism sticks, and they have 3, except there's one that's like such a good sparkle, and the others 2 are just meh, you know. So if I had known that, I would have only gotten the super sparkly one. I think they're like $7 at Ulta, but they have been on sale recently. The first one is called Diamond Dream, and this is the one. If you're going to get any of them, you want to get Diamond Dream. See that? Oh, it's amazing. And I'm going to use that just right in the center and a little bit across the top, which I always like to do. And then if you turn it on kind of the tip side and go in your inner corner. So, Diamond Dream. The next one is called Pink Tease. And it's nice and sparkly, but it doesn't show up quite as well. Like when I'm looking at my hand, I wish I could get the color to show up. Maybe if I get way back here. See how this one's just more. So that one's Pink Tease. And the last one, Angelic Glow. And it's more of a golden shade. That's pretty nice too. So if you need more of a gold shade, that's the one you should go with. But these rival the Danessa Myricks. Of course, nothing beats those. But all of the little dupes have been very nice. And I have 4 of these from Danessa, and they have 2 each. Just to give you an idea. This shade is number 4, Artemis. You know, did you see that? One swipe, boom. They're amazing. Now, each of these comes with 2, and the set of 2 is $38, but there's nothing quite like them. I'm gonna clean up underneath, being very careful underneath not to wipe off my serum. I'm just kind of going on the side. And I got another shade of the Clinique Even Better All Over Concealer. I got one a little bit darker. I had a light one called Flax, and this one is Cream Chamois. So here's the lighter one. And here is the cream chamois, which is a super close match to my skin tone. So since I don't want to have super bright under eyes today, I'm just going to go with the one that matches my skin tone better. And I get these at Marshall's. I think they were $9.95. And you get 0.2 fluid ounces. So that's about par for the course these days. But not with the Givenchy Prism Libre. I got this recently and I'm really liking it, and I will wear it in a different video. But I noticed with this one, you get 0.37 fluid ounces, so almost twice as much as the Clinique or the other ones that I have. I know probably the least one here lately has been the NYX, the Wonder Snatch Concealer, and that one only has zero point 0.1. Oh my gosh. So when you think about it, this one's really super expensive. Okay, I have a Buart Mini Rounded Slant 370, and it kind of looks like the Catrice brush that has come out recently. This one's a little bigger, little fluffier. Oh, that feels nice. The brush. I'm gonna go ahead and set that with my LA Girl H2O Lock Powder. And the Buart brush I've really been liking for that is the 79, which is comparable to the Sephora 79. Except those Sephora brushes now, they're expensive. They have really gone up in price. And a whole set of Buarts is, I'll pop it up. It's amazing. Amazingly good price. And I'm gonna keep trying my Tower 28. See if it's getting any better. If I had to put it up against the Skytubes, I would pick the Skytubes right now. For my foundation today, I used a coupon and got the YSL Cushion Foundation. I got it in medium cool 1.5. And I know, it's too dark. But I like that in the summertime. And I do like to keep my stickers and put them back on when I'm done. Here's what it looks like in the cushion. What's so cool is this cushion is so non-absorbing that it will look like I haven't even used it when I'm done. And honestly, I don't think it looks too dark right now. Do you? It'll end up looking a little bit too yellow, I think. I only get one shot with this one. The really expensive ones, I can only afford to get one. And I just don't take the time. I don't have an Ulta or a Sephora in my hometown. And usually when I've been babysitting in the towns that my daughters live in, when I get finished, I'm usually needing to get back home. So I don't have a lot of time to play around in their cities either. So I do the best I can with the swatches. And if all they do on the website is put up different models that are wearing that color, that is not good for me. Nope, nope, nope. I love to see swatches of some kind. The fake swatches, they also don't work, do they? You know, when it's just like a generic digital copy of that on the same arm for every color. The absolute best is when I watch another YouTuber swatch several colors. And the minis of the Estee Lauder Double Wear were recently on sale, buy one, get one free. And the minis are $28. So I got 2 of those in 2 shades that I don't have, just to compare. All right, so I'm looking a little bit orangey. So we'll fix that. We're going to use the Contour and Blend by Revolution. This is new, and I got tan. No, I went pretty dark. But if the lighter shades have kind of a yellow hue, I don't like that. And this is a pretty good contour color for me. And I do not use the little brush that comes with it. I still like my 47 for creams. Okay, what I've noticed in blending out this Revolution contour is that it doesn't always blend out very easily. Sometimes it ends up patchy. But what I have found works really well is using this Essence Balm of Sunshine. It's kind of like a balm version of the Lumi Glotion. Okay, so I just like to use that same brush and just kind of go over it, and that helps everything blend better, I think. And yes, it does add a slight sheen, but not enough to be overly concerned with if you don't like the sheen of the Lumi Glotion. Be very gentle on the nose. And if you've watched me before, you know how I like to hide my jowls by following my wrinkle there. But if you've not watched me before, that will look really weird to you. I also like to go up in my part just a little. I have been collecting these About Face blushes as they come into my Marshalls. This first one is called Shagged. And it looks like it's going to be this really hot pink. And here's what it looks like. And it blends out so nicely. This one is laid. Nice peachy color. And this one is Get Some. I guess they're trying to go down the NARS route, huh? Also, if you've watched me before, you know that I play violin, and that's why my fingernails are so short. Also, because I have bitten them since I had teeth to do so. I'm going to go with Shagged, the pinky one, and use my 47. So you think it's going to be just outrageous, and then it's not, and it goes on so nicely and blends so nicely. So these have been showing up in my Marshalls for $5.99. So after I bought the first one, I knew when I saw another color that I wanted to try it. I usually always start out with one of something, but then if I fall in love with that one, I want to try more. And I got a new MAC blush at my Marshalls also, and this one's called, that one was Dainty. I think I'm going to go with the one called Lovejoy. Here's what it looks like. And it just kind of almost reminds me of a bronzer. So I think the mixture of those two will be very nice. And if you like being original, then mixing is the way to go. So I love collecting the MAC blushes. And I'm going to try a little bit of this Dainty. Have you all heard of the new Patrick Ta transition blush thing? I think it means something in between your blush and your eye. And this one is quite pink, but very light. So works really well for the transition blush roll, which I think is kind of funny, but anything to get us to buy more makeup, right? Okay, now the bronzer I'm going to use is by Anastasia. It is the Smooth Blur Bronzer. This one's in the shade Sunset Sizzle. It's the only shade that my Marshalls had, and it looks kind of dark, but when you blend it out, it's very nice. This package, this is so heavy. It just has that luxe feel, you know? So I'm going to use my number 50. And look at this 50 brush. That is just cool shape for bronzer, I think. I'm going to start, I always like the perimeter because I never know how it's going to cling. to my creams I already have on. And it's looking like it's clinging pretty good. So that one dip may do me. And I do like to use bronzer on more parts of my face than the average person. But when you get a tan, when I used to get an actual tan, it wasn't just areas of my face. My whole face got the tan, you know? I like to bring it down, especially if I'm not wearing a light colored shirt. Okay, now to kind of make my pores disappear today, I've got the Essence Silky Blur Powder. This one, I don't know if it comes in several colors or if it's just they're all pink. It says number 10, translucent. And when I'm covering my pores, I do like to use a puff. But this passes that super fine test if you rub it between your fingers. So I'm just going to press very easily on the nose. So it truly is silky, and it really does give a nice blur. I'm going to use my Arches and Halos eyebrow powder in the charcoal duo and a super thin angled brush. And I do have some gray growth coming out. Gonna have to dye them soon. And I found some really super cheap e.l.f. Clear Brow and Lash Mascara. And this doesn't end up feeling too crunchy. And as you can see, if I try to rub off any of those sparkles, buddy, they're on there. So you don't get fallout. It's amazing. I've been enjoying this Anua PDRN encapsulated biphase hydration spray to kind of melt everything back. And I've used this liner before, but let me show you what I didn't even know. Okay, so I've been using this end, the skinnier end. This is by Colorgram in shade 6, Rose Beige. But it also has another end. And I didn't realize it until I was watching somebody else talk about it. The other end, though, this one is really light. So this almost gives me like concealer lip, but I really do like the color of the liner. It's darker. Just thought that was funny that I didn't even show that feature about my own product that I had and had shown before. Okay, I do have a Summer Fridays gloss. I got it in an Ipsy box. Dream Lip Oil in Blush Dreams. But I also found this Marie Claire lip oil. And it was in a kit, and it doesn't have a shade with it. It was in a kit with a liner, and I just really like it. I'm going to put it on the bottom. Put Summer Fridays on the top. And that's definitely super glossy. So if the colors were the same, it'd be dead on. Look, they even have the same color of lid. So if you see the Marie Claire lip kit with the lip oil in it, it's good. I have one more treat for you today. This might not be a treat. You may beat me up for showing it to you because it's so good. It is the one size, and I got it in the shade Cocoa Glow. So it's supposed to add a little bit of color. A lot of people are just using it on the décolletage, sorry. And I like to just make sure I don't spray my hair. And I don't know. I know if you go wild with it, you can tell and it might get patchy, but I really like it. It's very pleasant, has a slight scent, gives me a little bit of a glow. Helps my makeup stay on better. Downside was like $38. But I used some points for it, so. Okay, I have one other treat for you today. Do you remember back in the day, I think I was in junior high, when Love's Baby Soft perfume came out, and everybody wore it in my junior high, but I wanted to be different, so I didn't get that one. I got the Love's Musky Jasmine. It was the purple one. And since then, I just love the smell of jasmine, and I have looked for that jasmine perfume, and I think you can get it now, but they call it soft jasmine. But anyway, I was in Marshall's the other day, and in the clearance section, I happened to pick up this Vanilla Absolute. And I just thought, I just smell things in the clearance sometimes. Most of the time they're blah, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's it. And then when I read the notes or the description somebody gave with it, it does have notes of jasmine, but it is the Love's Musky Jasmine. They have recycled it in Vanilla Absolute by Jean and Rish, made in the USA. So just on the chance that maybe that was a love of yours when you were young, you can look that up. I'll let you see what I'm seeing. Pretty comfy. I do think the YSL Cushion Foundation, that particular shade MC 1.5, was a little bit too yellowish for me, but I think I made it work okay. I think this is pretty cool. I know I have seen some people use this Essence Balm of Sunshine, like on the collarbones, shoulders, but I don't think it's any more than a balm form of the Lumi Glotion. I do like the silky blur. And I don't think I did my finishing powder. Hang on a second. I got another shade. This is the lightest one, called just Butter Glow, Translucent Glow. And this one is Natural Glow. So I'll show you the translucent first. See if I can. So just, yeah, just a nice sheen. Nothing crazy. And the Natural Glow. It is more of a rosy shade. So I'm going to take my Real Techniques number 91. I have seen these in Marshall's too, by the way. I've been doing finishing after setting spray. As recommended by one of my viewers, and I like doing it this way. Oh, and I forgot my highlighter. I do have a new highlighter too. Goodness. Anesthesia brain. That's what it is. This was in my salvage store. The e.l.f. Halo Glow, the Beauty Wand in Liquid Gold. It's one I didn't have yet. And I squeezed out too much. So I'm going to pat it between fingers. I think that's very subtle. I really like it. Not too much. Thank you for watching today. I hope you're doing well. Make sure to take care of yourself so that you can take care of others. Leave me a comment and I'll get back to you. And I hope you see me next time.